What's going on, friends? It is once again another Tuesday night. NWA Powerrr wrapped up a few hours ago. The other black and yellow wrestling brand is presently wrapping up. So we're doing a little bit of a pre-show while NXT does their overrun, and let the people who are enjoying NXT stop by PowerrrOut once they're done that show. My guest today, I'm starting to. We've been doing PowerrrOut for so long that the show has started to develop a bit of a recurring crew of co-hosts who kind of like come in and out. And I'm so glad to be welcoming this particular guest back, Ian Abel of the Ian Abel Band. How you doing, friend?
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. I like to think of it as like a recurring guest star role.
A recurring guest star, yeah. You know, if this was a sitcom, like you'd come through the door, there'd be like a big applause from the audience. Woo! Yeah!
Like Brad Pitt did in Friends, right?
Exactly.
I look just like Brad Pitt.
Oh man, how you doing, man? It's been a little while since we last gabbed.
I'm good, just working on new music and just trying to plan out the rest of the year to record new stuff, and we're gonna release a lot of things, and I don't know, trying to get back on schedule post I guess whatever the post pandemic. We're still technically in it, but yeah.
Yeah, post pandemic is certainly a bit of a misnomer, but like it's getting a little more comfortable, and that's nice.
Yes, we are almost there. Like, let's just keep going.
Feel free to refrain from answering the question, but if you don't mind me asking, have you gotten your dosings?
I have not, but I plan on doing it. It just kind of slipped my mind. I don't know how. I got.
Oh, dude, totally.
Currently sitting in Kentucky, the cases and such have never been so bad. And there's also plenty of space to go out and do things where you really don't have to see anyone if you don't want to.
Right.
But I do.
That's very fortunate.
I definitely do plan on it now that it's widely available and anyone can get it.
Yeah, dude, I'm just like, I've been chomping at the bit. Like Montreal's been pretty good with the rollout. I have gotten mine like a few months back. There was a bit of a delay for when I could expect a second vaccine, but like the window seems to be closing. I seem to have a chance to get it earlier than expected. So I'm very excited for to get back to some semblance of normal, whatever that may look like.
Oh, 100%. I plan on, because there's definitely shows and things coming up, or just concerts I want to go to. So now I'm like, okay, now that society is back, I will go and do my due diligence and get ready.
Absolutely. If you're joining us, please do not adjust your streaming service, be you on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. Ian and I are just gabbing. There's another wrestling show that's happening right on, and we want fans to be able to enjoy that before popping and not worry about rushing to PowerrrOut. I realize that there's a bit of an overrun over on NXT, which is great. So once that ends, I'm going to get a signal, and we're going to go live and start our proper reaction to all things National Wrestling Alliance after this latest edition of PowerrrR. I almost called it PowerrOut, but no, that's our show. I guess I should have named it something different, something like a little bit different, so I wasn't going to confuse it. But, PowerrOut, it works.
I think it's great. And I absolutely love that out is the rainbow flag.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Love Wrestling. We've been really proud about what we've been doing for, I don't know. That always seems like a bit of a strange things to say, because like we've changed our colors. We're of course raising money for the Trevor Project, as we've been proudly doing all month. But yeah, playing with the colors has been a nice little flourish on our graphic design, I believe. But I've got the signal that NXT is just wrapping up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the intro video, and once that wraps up, Ian Abel and I will be back, and we'll be chatting all things NWA Powerrr.
Ladies and gentlemen, PowerrrR is over. But that does not mean for one instant of a second that the fun is over. Without a doubt, you are here because the power is out. So stick around, because it's Power Out. Yeah, it's Power Out.
Welcome, friends, to another edition of Power Out, your live reaction to all things NWA Powerrr. Hope you enjoyed NXT tonight. We stood by as the other black and yellow wrestling brand was wrapping up their program for the evening, and we're hoping that you're going to stop by and enjoy some Power Out because, again, we've been doing Power Out for so long that we're starting to develop a bit of a rotating guest of recurring guest co-host, and I'm so excited to be welcoming Ian Abel of the Ian Abel Band back to the show. How you doing, friend?
I'm good, and I'm happy to be back and repping my Love Wrestling tee right here. I don't know if my hair's in the way. It's here.
It looks great on you, friend. Out of curiosity, I often grow my hair out too, but how long does it take you to get it as long as you have it right now?
So, like right at pandemic, I was like here, and
okay,
right at that, I probably should get a haircut phase, and then everything shut down. And someone was like, "Why don't you just learn how to cut your own hair?" And I was like, "Dude, that's not happening." So it has been since then, so over a year, and it's now it's time probably for a cut. Now it just lays flat, and it's luckily I got the middle part going naturally though, so no one on TikTok's gonna rip on me.
I'm starting to familiarize myself with TikTok. Is that something people do? They're just going to be making fun of my hairline and stuff?
I think so. I learned the new word. It's called chuggy, and it's when millennials do things that are very millennial. And I was like, that's freaking weird. And they're like side parts and like certain things, like but first coffee, that slang or that T-shirt. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm starting to see what they're saying. But apparently it's bad. I don't know. I'm just trying to be hip. I don't know if it's working. I don't know, but we're here. We're here.
I don't know, man. Everything you just named, I just feel so attacked by. Like, oh, side parts, coffee. That's me, man.
All those things.
Dude, it's been a while since we spoke. Not to put you on the spot, but I was really hoping we were going to be able to gab at the what was the name of the pay-per-view? When Our Shadows Fall. You were scheduled to be part of the program. Life comes up. I'm not giving you a hard time or anything, but I really want to know what you thought of the pay-per-view.
So I got to catch it. I had to catch it after. I was stuck. I wanted to be part of it too. I was not stuck. I was at a wedding the day before I had this first dance for, which was probably the most nervous I've been ever, because I was like, oh my God, if I screw up my friend's first dance, like I'm done. But I thought the pay-per-view. So ever since coming back from the start or from the pandemic or whatever, I felt like all the powers have been like trying to get their footing.
Yeah,
I felt like the pay-per-view was finally like a real digging their heels down in it, and it felt like things were starting to like the rust was coming off. I'm happy to have wrestling pay-per-views at all. So
yeah.
So I was stoked to be able to sit down and watch it. I avoided all spoilers. I stayed off of Twitter. I stayed away from everything. Like all my friends would text me and I'd delete it. And I was like, no, I will not talk to you, Daniel.
Don't be texting me with the NWA spoilers, Daniel. I've had enough of this.
No chance. That guy.
We want to say hello to Ed Fries in the chat, valued member of the Love Wrestling team. TikTok is great and awful at the same time. I think that's a fair assessment of pretty much anything, on the internet.
Yeah,
it's like,
especially like the early internet, like the early 2000s, when you didn't know what hyperlinks were and you're just clicking on anything, getting rickrolled. You're like, no,
yep,
no, Daniel again, not him.
Those were the days. Those were the days of better internet use, but alas. Alas, we have what we have. We had a pretty good show of NWA to talk about tonight. At least I enjoyed what I saw tonight. As always, me and my special guest co-host, we're going to go segment by segment, talk about what we liked, talk about what we didn't like, and speculate on the road ahead. Because again, NWA's got two big events in the coming months. We got NWA 73, and of course we have the all women's event, NWA EMPOWERRR. So we got lots to talk about, friend.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So top of the show, Joe Galli announces a new NWA series called the Championship Series. It's going to be premiering on Tuesday, July 13th. Not a whole lot of details really dropped, aside from that the champions will be heavily featured. They're going to be heavily promoted. This includes the men's and women's heavyweight championship, as well as tag team, national championship, and television championship. And it's going to be like a points-based system where wins and losses matter. Not a lot of detail beyond that. Please excuse me. It wouldn't be PowerrrOut if my cat didn't jump on my tables. So I'm just going to get him out of the way. Please shame him, internet. He is terrible.
That's the real co-host right there.
I should just like set up a little perch right here, just so like I can get that out of the way at the beginning of each show. Let him just chill. Yeah, but anyway, that is what it is. Anyway, what do you hope for this new series? Because again, not a lot of detail, so speculate away.
I'm hoping for a massive shakeup. I'm hoping for the first episode. I obviously don't know how the point system's gonna go. I hope it's not like AEW does it, where they have like the win-loss, but I don't know if it really matters. Yeah, I'm so confused by that one. But I hope there's a massive shakeup, because I think that it's just good. It's just good television, good writing, and I want to see. I want to see the hunt again for a lot of the champions who've had the belts for a while.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially like Nick Aldis, who's just like running away with the scoreboard, nearing 1,000 days. And again, it's been a respectable reign for the circumstances he's been surrounded himself in. Ed, no, Ticket is not ratings. Do not encourage his ego. I'm not welcoming him back. Not happening. Now I'm just a little worried though, like about this whole championship series, because I've been very critical about NWA Power Surge, which is like happens every 3 weeks. It serves as more of a recap show, which is great because I think like shows, wrestling programs need that little entry point for people who aren't familiar. But putting that recap show behind a paywall really just did this a disservice to enticing those new fans and me as a subscriber, because like I don't need to watch that show. Like I know what happened. It's that's my concern. I hope that this championship series replaces Power Surge, but I'm also worried that it'll be like another kind of show that I don't need to miss. That's my concern.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, especially as subscriber already.
Yeah. Are you frozen?
It froze for a second. I stopped talking, but it froze for a second.
Confluence of events. Yeah. I mean, again, we can only hope that it's going to pad the value of subscribers such as ourselves, and also entice new subscribers. That's what NWA needs right now. Ed, with a good question here. What title could/should change hands on the first episode of the new show? That's a tough one. Do you have any thoughts?
Tag titles.
That's where I'm leaning towards as well.
Yeah, it's cliche, but I'd like Strictly Business to have the tag titles. I think.
Okay.
They do so well as far as they do so well just as a faction, I suppose, or let's see, War Kings maybe.
Yeah.
Just tag titles in general, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I like I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying the arc between Kratos and Aaron Stevens. I wasn't expecting them to kind of like get back on the same page. We're of course going to be talking more about them down the road, and I'm with you. I think tag titles are the way to go if they're going to do a big title change on that first episode. But I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit down the card here. Yeah, we kick off. We get the opening contest. We get Genocide with Taryn Terrell taking on Lady Frost. Very back and forth match, showcasing Genocide's power and Lady Frost's athleticism. Really great contest. Big back and forth. Finish comes with Taryn Terrell behind the referee's back, twisting Frost's arm around the ropes. This allows Genocide to take advantage, hit her with the Jenna 9000, and pick up the W. First match of the night. What do you think?
Good opener. Terrell is, she's really. I know they were talking about it. I think Velvet Sky mentioned that she's technically still on the roster as a wrestler, but this sort of managerial position that she's in, and it seems like she's like, I don't know if she's trying to create her own little faction or something, but I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely. Taryn Terrell is like interesting because like I forgot how good she was. I forgot how good of a wrestler she was because like I watched her run in TNA, but like it feels like a lifetime ago. And she comes into NWA with this very very bubbly character, and she's knocking out of the park every segment she's in. She's like very good, but I forgot how good in the ring she is. So if she's actually transitioning to like this full managerial role, I hope it's not without its in-ring moments, because like she's something. She's a hell of a talent.
Yeah, totally.
I want to pose Ed's question to anyone who's joining us now or joining us just a little bit later on. We're talking about the Championship Series, which is going to be debuting Tuesday, July 13th. Ed's asking what title should change hands on the first episode of the new show. If you have any answers, please drop them in the comments. In fact, Ed, I want to hear from you as well. So yeah, something to chew on as the night goes on. So yeah, solid match. I really liked what I saw out of Lady Frost and Genocide. Genocide's a powerhouse, and she's just like, she's a tank. She's a tank, and she's like, she's so great. Just like, she doesn't fit in the NWA mold, and that's what makes her so great. She just stands out. She's powerful. She's great.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
And as far as Lady Frost, like, I am not too familiar with her. She's had a couple matches on NWA, but not a lot of time to showcase. She had a match against Taryn Terrell a few weeks ago, but it was really more of just an opportunity for Taryn Terrell to just play the heel and escape. But you know, she's fun to watch as well. Some good talent. Next segment, I was a little confused here. They're referring to something called High Voltage, which I didn't realize was like a YouTube program that NWA produces. Like, this was completely alien to me. I missed a triple threat match between Sal Renaro, PJ Hawks, and Colby Carino for the #1 contendership of the TV title. Did you know about this?
No, I completely missed it too, because I thought it was a flashback, and I was like, well, I don't really remember this. So
Yeah.
okay. I was like, maybe I don't know, maybe I had a few too many or something. I missed this part. I don't know. And so, and then it flashes forward, or it's in real time, I suppose, and he's talking about how he's stoked that he just won, and I was like, I'm lost.
Yeah,
so lost.
I mean, like, again, I didn't see much of the match. I saw the highlight that they presented to us, and pretty unique finish. Like Colby going for a roll up, but Sal pushing him into the turnbuckle, falling back on PJ Hawks, going for the 1, 2, 3. Anyway, I could never do it justice. Like explain reiterating the finish, but like, it was a very dynamic finish that I really appreciated. And like you said, it kind of jumps into the interview with Sal Renaro. He's talking about how he's got this big opportunity. It's an opportunity he's waited a long time for, to face the Pope for the television champion. Oh, what a great line, huh?
Yeah, I just need 3 seconds.
Yeah, I don't need to be better than the Pope for the whole match. I need to be better than him for 3 seconds. And man, it is so hard not to root for Sal Renaro. He is just marvelous. He might be like again, I've said this before, but like, he proves me right each time. He might be the strongest babyface that they have on that entire roster.
Yeah, I mean, I always want to see him succeed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just so likable. And again, like he just knocks it out of the park with this promo, talking about, and like he puts over Pope too. Like he says, like Pope's been a hell of a champion. He doesn't even think he's better than that he's better than Pope. But again, just 3 seconds is all he needs. But before the match can even like come to any semblance of starting, he is assaulted by Colby Carino, just like a big beatdown on Saul and Danny Deals. Just a big beatdown, and like he takes him up to the apron and then a suplex off the apron. We talked about this in the pre-show. That was a hard suplex to watch. Oof.
Oh God, I jumped out of my chair. I was like, oh my God, he's dead. I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, oh no.
Yeah, I mean, I was relieved by the very nature that they aired it, and of course, this is a pre-tape show, so I had to imagine if something went horrible. Pardon me, they wouldn't air it, and
Yeah, you'd hope at least,
yeah.
I think you're right on that one though. So he must be okay, but I wouldn't have been okay. Of course, he's
No.
all right, but I'd be on a stretcher out of there.
There is this this Twitter account, WCW Deep Cuts. They just like go into like the they really they live up to their name. They go down to like I forget the name of like their Saturday show, but they pull out clips from these wild matches that just randomly took place on this B-list Saturday card. You get Ultimo Dragon, Booker T, and crazy stuff like that. And there was this clip of Vincent, or better known as Virgil, hitting like, again, a very similar suplex, but much scarier to the outside of the ring, just kind of like dropping the guy head first. Like it was the scariest thing I've ever seen. I'm laughing out of gallows humor. I'm not trying to make light out of anyone's potential injury or anything, but man, I relived seeing that GIF for the first time. Shout out to Ed. He's got his picks for the championship that should change hands on the first episode. I hate to discount your second choice there, but a new national championship is allegedly scheduled to take place next week. We will, of course, be elaborating on that a little bit down the card, but a TV championship would be nice too. I mean, Pope is nearing 7. I think he's at 5. If they can squeeze in another title defense between now and then, maybe him having his lucky number 7 battle on that card, that could be. I like that. I like that very much. Yeah. So moving on from there, like after like the whole kerfuffle with the beatdown of Saul Renaro by Colby Carino, they pretty much called off the match. It's not happening. Joe Galli is kind of like on the headset. He's trying to like figure out what's going on backstage, seeing if we can fill the space. I like that little detail. I like that they said like, hey, we had something, now we have to fill this spot in the card. I like little flourishes of logic like that. Totally. But essentially, the transition here, Austin Idol and his client come out yet again saying they're going to take the Pope to war. But when the Pope finally comes out, like Pope rushes out, like he fulls on just like calls them into the ring. Let's make the match happen now. But Austin Idol and company, they just scatter. You know how I feel about this guy, man. I'm not really like eager to. Yeah.
Best.
It's so disappointing. I just really want the Pope to move on. I want him to be in a better program. I want Austin Idol to have a better client, but like anything that's involved in this guy, I'm just not going to get invested in. And it's frustrating.
Yeah. Well, people boo. It just, and you feel the same way. And he pops out and you're like, okay, whatever. Like, let's just get this part over with while we're here,
But do they really boo? Like again, like I know they're not at full capacity. I don't think they have an audience aside from the pay-per-view they just had. Mm-hmm. It feels very forced. It feels like it's the paid audience or fellow employees playing along for the sake of the show. Do you really think that Tyrus is the big deal that Austin Idol says he is? Oh my God, I can't believe I just said Tyrus's name. I broke the streak. It's 13 episodes of PowerrrOut in, and I finally said the Ars's name.
It happens,
but
it happens. Blame me for that one. For
no.
Do I think that the client is the big deal? No, I think that I could take a big nap when that part happens. A little power nap. But I instead went down. I grabbed my Mania cup and made a drink and came up and was like, all right, segment's over. I missed it. Let's do it.
Oh, okay. Ed is kind of leaning into an inside joke. I'm sorry. I will not be calling attention to
dance as punishment. Yes.
They have Ian, they've gotten me to dance like a dozen times after Kyle Davis did some Das Wunderkind a few weeks ago. But okay, well, you know what? In the spirit of charity, everyone knows that Love Wrestling has proudly been raising money for the Trevor Project all month long. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open our Tiltify. I'm going to take a look. Oh, you know what? Oh, shame on me once again. I'm going to open up the banner. It's going to tick alongside the bottom of the screen. This is the link that you want to visit, donate.tiltify.com/@lovewrestling/Trevor Project. If I see another $10 donation go in during this broadcast, there will be 10 seconds of Das Wunderkind. I also want to thank Ian Abel, who made a generous donation himself in recent weeks. So thank you for helping us. I mean, we blew past our goal long ago, and every dollar since has just exceeded our expectations. And Ian, thank you so much for being a part of that.
I was hoping to get in before the going past the original number set, but PayPal was screwing me up. But I was happy. I'm happy to be in support of it. It's a great project. I don't want to say
Absolutely.
project, but yeah, no, it's a great cause, and so I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's much appreciated. And thank you for bringing up the PayPal issues, because I was experiencing the same issues earlier this month, but they seem to have been resolved. So if you have a few bucks to kick over and you've had difficulties with PayPal on our on donate.tiltify.com/@lovewrestlingca/Trevor Project, seems to have resolved itself. So now's the time to give it another go. But the card moves on after the little showdown with Pope and everyone involved. We get the impromptu 6-man tag team match set up in absence of a television championship match. Aaron Stevens alongside Captain Yuma and Mims taking on Kratos and Hawks Airy. This is presented, I think, very well. Like, this was presented as an exhibition showcase, solid wrestling, and with some very like spirited moments, and everyone just playing their role to a T. It all gets thrown out when La Rebellion comes out, and they come out to Kyle Davis's podium. They just bury the tag team division and bury the NWA. It leads to a bit of a brawl, and the match is just thrown out. La Rebellion's chased away. This was a nice segment. I liked a lot of this. What did you think?
I think that I was confused to see the Aaron Stevens and Kratos in the corner talking, and because it's felt like it's led up to them, a big breakup coming, and now they're in the corner being buddies, and I'm like, I don't know where they're at. I don't know what's happening, but I'm here for it. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, like they've been doing that dissension for weeks on end, and there was some kind of sense of resolution at the pay-per-view. Like, Kratos won the match by nefarious means. Stevens was kind of cool with it after like just the story of how the match unfolded. Like you said, the moment of them just kind of like conferring in one of the neutral corners, I like that little bit of business. Like I was like, oh, this tag team has endeared themselves to me even further with this one little gesture of being on opposing teams and yet just like kind of chatting. Commentary did a really good job here too, because they kind of like put over Stevens and Kratos as like locker room leaders who were like, okay, we have a whole and they were the guys who put this match together and got it like sanctioned by the NWA or what have you. It just, I like little bits of logic like that. I don't want to like crap on a Raw or anything, but like the standard protocol for them is like, something like a beatdown that happened to Saul happened. It's just kind of ignored, and like there's no real justification for why they still have a full night's worth of programming.
Yeah. I agree. I love the exhibition standpoint.
Yeah.
I could have swore Tim Storm's bronze self was gonna somehow find his way into the exhibition, but
he is just being so generous with the Tanner lately, isn't he?
Yeah, he went and bought it all up. Boy, is brown.
Sorry, excuse me. I was just pouring a drink there and I didn't want it to pick up on the mic, but now I have like a terrible foam accident over here. That's going to stay off camera to prevent me from being embarrassed by that terrible pour. But yeah, good match. What do you think of La Rebellion?
Fan. I'm a fan. I wasn't expecting them to come on at all. I was little confused by the expedition or exhibition. God, he screwed up
All
earlier,
good,
man,
dude.
and now I'm screwing
It's
up
contagious. I'm sorry.
again. um, I just I loved how they jumped out, like, cause I keep forgetting the guy, the Yuka or the he was on Aaron's team, the captain. I forget his last name.
Captain Yuma.
Yuma. There it is. God, I can't remember his name. Saved my life. I love that he decided that he was a highlight for me of that whole segment because he called out Kratos, and he's out there and he's getting beat down. And for me, it's just somebody. I'm a big fan of people who are just always ready to get involved, I suppose. And he was like, "Yeah, I'll be the comedic relief of this moment."
Yeah, he's someone who hasn't really shown up on NWA TV, so I wasn't really I didn't really know what was going on with him, but there was still plenty of action that with people I was very informed, well enough informed with. So, it kept me busy. Okay, we got a little comment over in Twitch. Says Action has just donated $9.99. I'm looking at the Tiltify. I'm not seeing that donation, but I would rather, dance for no money than risk someone actually having donated the money and it not happening. So please excuse me, Ian. I just need to get this. Okay. Fuck. Kyle Davis, I hope you're watching. He was so proud of me last time. We posted it on Twitch. He gave me a D. There we go. That was probably 10 seconds.
I got in there with you.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend.
No one dances alone.
Not on PowerrrOut. No one dances alone. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. I mean, hopefully it happens again because we want to raise more money for the Trevor Project. Happy to do so. But we move on. We move on to, well, it's funny because we talked about the dissension of the ranks between Aaron Stevens and Kratos Jr. And now we move on to a new team that has kind of started to have cracks formed at the seam between Crimson and Jax Dane. They're being interviewed by May Valentine about the very physical contest between Crimson and Slice Boogie the week before. Get the fuck away ticket. He always throws me off.
What a champion.
Yeah. Like they both do a really good job putting over Slice Boogie. Even Crimson, who put the beat down on him, he even says like, Slice is a great kid, but I needed to teach him a lesson, and that's the angle he went with. Jax Dane saying, "Hey, bud, I think you went too far." Again, very short and sweet. I don't know. We've just done a tag team that's kind of like descending imploding within itself. I don't know if I need another one so quickly right after.
I totally feel that. But also I think this might be unfavorable opinion, but I could see Crimson being like a good baby face to chase after the title from Aldis,
Oh, interesting.
I could be wrong. So everyone else could be like, "What? No, that's a terrible baby face." But I don't know. I was trying to go through the roster of people who I could think would, make a good run. Someone's got to dethrone Aldis eventually. So, but the segment was good, and it was if it went on any longer, I think I'd have been a little more out of it. But I'm looking forward to whatever they got to tell the world.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you absolutely. Certainly a story I'm willing to watch unfold before I make any kind of like rash judgments about what's going on. Crimson and Jax Dane, they've both proven that they can go. They're in a one-on-one situation before like they move on to bigger, better things. Each of them respectively. Hey, I'm along for the ride. Next up, another very short and sweet interview. We got the showdown between the contenders for the national championship, JTG and Chris Adonis. Very short back and forth between the two. You got JTG saying that's why he came to NWA to win gold. You got Adonis saying he's got the numbers game. And of course, this is all refuted by Fred Rosser coming to JTG's side, saying he's going to be in his corner next week, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. And this is kind of what I think Ed mentioned before, as far as he wanted to see the title switch it up.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be a cool move. I like JTG. JTG also has I mean, I hate to be the person to say the look, but JTG is a monster. So
Yeah.
I'd be okay with this switch up. I'd be a fan.
Before we elaborate, Crimson could work, but Impact poorly handled him as a babyface. But I'd be willing to see it. Thank you, Ed, for that one. I'm afraid I can't really speak to that intelligently. Did you watch his TNA run?
Unfortunately, no, I couldn't either. I couldn't talk about it and
No,
sound
fair enough.
sound smart at all.
No, totally fair, totally fair. But like, no, I'm with you, man. JTG looks like a star now, and not just that. Like his matches in NWA have just been like fantastic. He's blown me away. It feels like he's really just put it together, like all the pieces that make like a great star, and he has like I'm shocked. I'm shocked in the like best possible way. Cannot wait to see this match between him and Adonis, because again, Adonis is another one who's just been showing me so much that I didn't know he could be in his NWA run. My only gripe with this segment, I think, is like these two have a lot of history together, and I know you don't necessarily want to directly reference the other company, but I don't know. They could have padded this segment up with the history that these two have.
Yeah, there's clever ways to do it. There's definitely clever ways to just make a joke or make a slight comment, or someone else could have made a comment. There's ways to do it that hype it up even more.
Do you think? What do you think's going to happen with Rosser in JTG's corner?
I imagine Strictly Business is going to try to intervene, and eventually we'll beat him down. I think they'll have the numbers, right? They'd have to have the total numbers. I would love to see the switch there to then see like the Strictly Business tag title competition. You'd have 3 different teams vying for the tag titles, or 2 different, I suppose. But
so you would think JTG and Rosser as a tag team?
Unless if JTG wins,
okay,
then you get Strictly Business running for the tag titles. But also, if not,
I follow you.
But if not, also, then maybe they could make a run for the tag titles. I don't see a bad scenario really coming out of it either way.
Yeah. Either way, man, next week, I think that's going to be a fantastic main event. I'm very much looking forward to it. Been looking forward to anything JTG has been doing ever since I saw his match with Fred Rosser at the pay-per-view. So, sign me up. It's going to be a great main event. The next segment, we got we got Heart to Heart with May Valentine and the Masked Man. More of the same with this Masked Man guy. He's touting his own work ethic. He's touting how he's got like technical wrestling ability beyond that anyone has ever seen, and of course he's touting his secret purpose that only Billy Corgan is privy to. I've been asking this of all my guests in recent weeks. What do you think about the Masked Man? What's your wild speculations going on this one?
Every time I look into it, someone on like Reddit or somewhere will say this is exactly who it is, and then 5 people will say that it seems like it, and then one person will jump in and be like, their eyes aren't that color, and you're like, I have no clue, because today they mentioned something about being an unknown at the same time. So I was like, I don't know. I quit guessing, and I'm just like, all right, I'm ready for it. Just let me find it. I know it's not Punk. I know that. So
there would be some impressive prosthetic work involved if that was CM Punk. But
yeah,
like
everything.
yeah, absolutely. We've been keeping it kayfabe on PowerrrOut because I want to spoil it for anyone who wants to keep the secret going. But I have been saying this much: it is very much an unknown. That like there's not going to be a big reveal. He's not going to pull off his mask, and you're going to be like, oh, it's Ryback. It's good. I think this Masked Man character is exactly what you see. What you see is what you get. You're going to get a Masked Man character throughout the run, and we can only really speculate on what this grand purpose, as designed by William Patrick Corgan, is going to resemble. Because right now we don't have much clues in that regard.
I hope he's for real. Hope he's everything he says he is.
Yeah, he's a talent. He's a talented wrestler. Like I think he can go. I think he can go, and I think he'll be able to impress. But it's the storyline. They've kind of set up a bit of a lofty goal with the storyline, and we're gonna have to see how it plays out. The next segment, what do we got? We got well, it's May Valentine once again. She's interviewing Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is putting over Melina. She's like she loves her. Like she's always had her back. She's essentially her sister. But lately, Melina has been pretty much picking a fight with just about everyone in the locker room. And it's getting to a point where Thunder Rosa can only stand by her side so much longer before like she kind of has to leave her on her own. I think this might be the first kind of hint of a match that's going to appear on the PowerrrR card, the EMPOWERRR card. They teased it a whole bunch pre-pandemic on PowerrrR. And I think this is the opportunity to make the match actually happen on a grand stage.
I could see that. I feel like they should have had Melina win.
Oh yeah, in the main event. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and like I do have thoughts about the main event, but like I think Melina can still remain credible, and like there's still weeks between now and EMPOWERRR in which she can be built up as a very credible threat to Thunder Rosa. And again, like Melina, like she is just an absolute. She's such a vet, and like it shows in how she presents herself, how she wrestles, and I think that's going to be a great match for Thunder Rosa, who, you know, correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't know if she's had as much experience in the ring as Melina, but you know, she's Thunder Rosa. She's a prodigy. Like everything she does is just like amazing, and just it works. So I want to see Thunder Rosa and I want to see Melina in that grand setting. And I hope they can build up Melina, as you say, like into a more credible threat.
I agree with you as far as that they do have time to make Melina just go on a terror if she wants to.
Yeah.
That would be a great match, her and Thunder Rosa. That would be awesome.
I think so. I think that's potential for the EMPOWERRR card, and I am crossing my fingers. The last thing I really want NWA to do is repeat what they've done on the last pay-per-view and not announce any of the matches on the card until a week in advance via Twitter and some very shoddy animations. Let's say that. I want a proper build for these matches, and I really hope it's just not like announced anyway. Hoping that we get like some teases, but I want some locks on that card, and I want to see them soon. And Thunder Rosa versus Melina, that would be that would entice me certainly. But speaking of Melina, she is in the main event. We get Melina versus Kylie Rae, Smiley Kylie herself, veteran versus, you know, Kylie Rae is not a rookie, but like she's you know, Melina is the far more experienced wrestler of the two. And we get that story. We get the story of the veteran who's just kind of like picking their spots and doing the work. She dominates most of the match with a few flourishes of offense by Kylie. The end of the match comes with a reverse DDT attempt by Melina. Kylie Rae fights out of it, hits a super kick. Melina is done 1, 2, 3. Again, like you said, maybe Melina could have picked up the win, but I think Kylie could have also won, but I don't know, that the finish was very sudden for my tastes.
Yeah, I thought she was going to kick out. I really did. I was like, oh, there's no way that's ending here. And then it did. And I was like, oh, well, I'll eat my words on that one.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Like, I think I had my eye on the time, so I figured like this was probably the final match. And even after that, like the commentary just kind of like rushed from the 1, 2, 3 to the credits, and you know, time restrictions. Totally understand. I'll say this much: like, I'm very impressed with how much time NWA has been investing in the women's division, because I've said this a couple times, and this will probably be the last time I say it because I'm eating my words so much. I expected, like, you know, they would announce EMPOWERRR and then just kind of like sit on their hands about the women's division. But in recent weeks, like, they've got, you know, like long segments. They've got great matches. Last week they didn't have any matches, but the segment that they had, like, they gave it ample time. You know, it's good. It's not something I expected to see out of NWA, and I'm so I always liked NWA in spite of certain ways they produce their show. But I'm so happy that I can say, hey, I'm really invested in the NWA women's division right now. That's really cool.
Yeah, they're really letting the talent work and prove themselves and show that they have such a right to be there because they are awesome. And they're going to do a whole, what's the one's coming up in St. Louis is the whole thing is
Race to the Chase.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm definitely tuning in for that one. Like, let's go. That'll be exciting.
The other big speculation before we wrap up the card and everything is Mickie James last week, just before Power, she confirmed that she will be competing at NWA 73. She's probably going to just stick to producing NWA EMPOWERRR, but she will be competing at 73. Pardon me. Top of your head, who would you like to see her face off with?
Can we somehow sneak her in that three-way, make it a three-way match with her, Melina, and Thunder Rosa?
Oh, I'm down. Absolutely. Well, again, I think I want to see that match on EMPOWERRR. But yeah, if Melina's going to work, if she can work with Thunder Rosa and Melina, yeah, sign me up. Sign me up.
And she's got to sing too, right? She's a country singer, I believe. I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
What would an Ian Abel Mickie James collaboration sound like? Would you lean into the more country vibe? I mean, you have a country vibe yourself.
For sure, and definitely that would be awesome. It'd be the most banging song you've ever heard of all time. Like I don't know, it'd be great. I think we'd crush it. We'd have to get Aldis to, I don't know, play like a drum beat on his abs or something.
I bet it's the most perfect snare pitch, just the muscles are so condensed, full on snare pitch right there.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, nice, all right. I'm out, you're in. See,
Ian Abel of the Ian Abel Band, friend, thank you so much for once again being a part of PowerrrOut. This was it's always a great time talking with you. This was a lot of fun. Before I let you go, do the social media thing. Let us know where we can follow you on this, that, and the other.
Everything is at Ian Abel Band, IANABEL Band, BAND, TikTok, Twitter, all of it. So you can find me there.
As easy as that. Friends, if you joined us on Facebook or YouTube, we thank you very much for joining us live. We thank everyone who's listening to this as a podcast, anyone who's catching the video on demand replay, but a special message to anyone who's attending and watching us live on Twitch right now. We are going to be rating Pollo de Mal's Twitch channel right after this stream. So again, everyone else on YouTube and Facebook, the video is going to fade to black and sign off as usual. But Love Wrestling Twitch faithful, we're going to be rating the other channel shortly after these messages. Wow, I am just butchering the English language, and I do apologize.
Crushing it.
Oh, dude, it's so hot. It's just so hot. My vocabulary is just falling out of my brain hole. But again, yes, Ian, that's a fantastic shirt. Thank you for showcasing it one more time. And to everyone who joined us, be it live, be it on demand, be it on podcast, thanks for being a part of this week's PowerrrOut. We'll see you next week.